Okay, hello, welcome back. I just realized I'm wearing a Deadpool shirt, which is odd since I'm doing Spider-Man. Regardless, he looks kind of like Spider-Man. It counts. I'm sure it counts. Due to the fact that the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 game is coming out in less than a week from the recording of this video, I thought I'd share some of my favorite of the Spider-Man comics and so on. Most of these you can find through interlibrary loans. Just go up, talk to the person behind the counter if you don't know how to do that, and they can get most everything you want. They can get. We'll start with the basics of this. My personal favorite run in the original Spider-Man series is, well, we'll show this. So this is a very old beat-up book that somebody gave me. This is the original Stan Lee run, which is really, really good. It's my personal favorite of all the runs. There have been some great runs, but something about Stan Lee's run, he had a great balance of, he had the drama of the character and that sort of stuff, but he also had, a sense of fun and a sense of humor of the series. It was just really satisfying read to do, and so on. So, highly recommend Stan Lee run. This can be found on Kindle, essentially in this size of book. So this is, you can see how thick it is, pretty darn thick. Can be found on Kindle for download. I think it's $15 to $20. I downloaded one of the sets for a trip. They take up a lot of space. Comic books take up a lot of space on Kindle. Or they did release a complete set for like, I think $65 of, a hard copy set like this. That's actually in color, not this old black and white stuff that I'm using. So it can be found. Yep, that was a gift from someone. I'd asked them, oh, you have the copy, are you getting rid of it? Okay, I'd love to have it. And they said, yeah, sure, you can have it. So that was really cool. So this is a second one. This is from, I want to say the 80s, an 80s run. It was when Todd McFarlane did the series. He did the artwork and wrote for it. Here we go. So this is Perceptions. It's an obscure enough Spider-Man title that this normally costs about $20. I got it for about $10 on Amazon. It's a really interesting storyline where, also, just straight up, because I'm always doing this, don't confuse Todd McFarlane with Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane did Family Guy. Todd McFarlane did comic books like this, and then later created the character of Spawn, which I was never really into. He has an interesting art style, too. This is basically a reporter driving a vehicle in Canada hits this mysterious creature who leaves behind the dead and decaying corpse of a young boy who had gone missing. And it's basically the story of the media frenzy that follows it. Hunters going into the woods just killing everything that moves because they're afraid of this creature and things like that. And Spider-Man being sent from New York up to Canada to, take pictures of the, Peter Parker being sent and the Spider-Man kind of trying to remain in the shadows. And, of course, as you can see, Wolverine is in it as well. So yeah, really, really good series. Like I said, interlibrary loan if you don't want to just spend a lot of money on something you haven't read, but again, it's well worth reading. So I thought, in addition to kind of doing a quick little review of these Spider-Man stories, I'd go into a little bit of the alternate Spider-Man. So word of warning, pretty much everything I'm advertising comes before the year 2000, so Miles Morales won't be on this list. As of right now, I have not read any of the original Miles Morales series, but I have seen him in other series like Gwenpool, and I like the character. And so what I'll be doing in a review later on, I'm going to be... so I've got an interlibrary loan with what I think is the original, with him, Miles Morales becoming Spider-Man, that original series. I believe he appeared long before that in the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, but, I've never read it. I've heard really, really good things about it, written by Brian Michael Bendis, whose track record nowadays isn't as good as it was when he wrote Miles Morales. But I'm getting that, and I'm also getting a comic book called Ironheart. She's a character created also by Brian Michael Bendis, and she's pretty much did the same thing to Iron Man that Miles Morales did to Spider-Man. Basically took over for Iron Man when the original hero, when Iron Man became unavailable, like Miles Morales did to Peter Parker. The only difference is that pretty much everyone I've heard talk about Miles Morales talks about the Miles Morales series and all that stuff in glowing terms. Like it's a really, really good series, and they talk about Riri Williams or Ironheart in really negative terms. She's not very well liked at all. So I'm going to be reading both of them and then comparing them and then doing a video like this. So yay me. Anyway, alternate Spider-Man from before 2000, which basically means pretty much anyone that came out of the Spider-Verse isn't going to be included, and so on. So we're going to start with Spider-Man 2099. First off, he has an awesome outfit. He has one of the more awesome looking alternate Spider-Man outfits. This will be appearing on PlayStation 4 game, this outfit, from what I understand. This is written by Peter David, who's a really great comic book writer. He did a run of, he did the infamous Grey Hulk run from 80s, I believe. This was in the early 90s. He wrote Spider-Man 2099. It's a great series. Highly recommend you get it to read it. This I've always felt like this book itself, the very first collection, which is the first 10, would make a really, really good movie. Some things need to be edited around a little bit in it, but other than that, you know, you could pretty much adapt it directly and make it into a really good movie. It's a fun series. It's basically the future. You know, everything's completely corrupt. Company called Alchemix runs everything, and through all these different set of circumstances, my brain just went dead on this guy's name. It'll come up to me. I'm reading the back. So not coming out in the back. O'Hara, Miguel O'Hara. He's half Irish and half Mexican. Great character, and yeah, it's a great, really fun series to read. So pick it up, read it. They have a set collection. I have the first 3 from the classic series. I've seen a little bit of the new series. I didn't like they changed his costume, which I did not like the change at all. Let's be fair. So really good series. Recommend you read it. And finally, the final series I'm going to recommend here is from Tom DeFalco. It's pretty much it's an odd sort of cult series, but pretty much everyone who likes it. This is a brand new release, so they've just barely released this full-size set of SpiderGirl by Tom DeFalco. Previously to this one, they had the smaller books here, so size comparison there, which they weren't bad to read, but you know, you get into the middle, you would lose a little bit of the artwork in the margins. So they're releasing the complete series. They've just barely released the first one. It's really fun series. It's it's known as MC2 universe or Marvel Comics 2 universe. About I'm getting a glare on that. About 25 years after the events in this one. This is the daughter of Spider-Man. And I think it actually was influenced the current run of my own personal opinion, Renew Your Vows, which had Spider-Man fighting alongside a different daughter. This daughter is named May Parker, like his Aunt May, but she's known as Mayday. And yeah, it's just her developing power, her powers like representing, and then yeah, going off in different directions and stuff like that. What makes this one so fun for me is that if you're familiar with the Marvel Universe, it's like reading the Marvel Universe, but just slightly twisted. You know, you'll have characters who are obviously based on the original heroes, but different people filling the roles, and so on. So really, really good. I highly recommend this one as just one of the best Spider-Man series ever. Alternate Spider-Man series ever. So get it, read it. Like I said, interlibrary loans are going to be your friend. So that's a quick look at all the different, at least my personal favorites of both the original run of Spider-Man, later run of Spider-Man, and alternate versions of Spider-Man. So, yep, and that's pretty much all I want to do. Nothing really big or deep or meaningful in this one, just a little fun with that. Anyway, like and subscribe if you like this, and yeah, let me know, comments below, which Spider-Man you like, whether you like my choices, or whether you approve my choices. I know generally when I tell people I really like the original Stan Lee run, just about everybody will say it was good, but I like the death of Gwen Stacy better. So go figure. If you like that one better, that's fine too. But everyone their own. Anyway, yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.